Welcome back to the Sam the Spiritist YouTube channel. I am Sam the Spiritist, 21 Divisions Voodoo Priestess and Archangel channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to make sure you receive all my alerts when I upload new videos from the Loa, other spirits and elevated masters, as well as the archangels. Also, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and TikTok at Sam the Spiritist to make sure that you don't miss out on my daily crystal and affirmation readings I do every morning, as well as on my, I also have another YouTube channel and Instagram page called At Forces of Freya, which I will tag below, which are dedicated to receiving and delivering the messages from my Norse gods and goddesses and associated benevolent energies that also have wisdom to share and magical help to provide. Gracias, misericordia. You can find the links to all these things that I just mentioned in the description box below. So let's get started on today's message. Today's message is brought to you by the Archangel Division, led by Archangel Michael today. So this is the bottom of the deck. I've already shuffled and I pulled the bottom of the deck first. Soulful appreciation, heartfelt gratitude. Look at the butterfly, light as a feather, but equal to this other side of this scale here, okay? Full of coins, which are far heavier. Tons of coins here compared to this butterfly, right? But look, the scale tips more to the butterfly. If you look at the dial in the middle, right? The butterfly actually has more. Those who are joyful, those who are present, those who appreciate life, those who are grateful, those who are present in the moments, the small moments that are actually far more significant. They weigh more than money, okay? That's what it's trying to demonstrate here in this image. They're more valuable than the coin, than the pia, than the pentacles here, okay? And that's a lesson that this reading is going to help you. Identify how to get back and get into the state if you've never been into it before. See if we can lift this up so you can see it a little better. There we go. Got to get you back into this state if you've been there before too, so that you're able to be present and more fulfilled or aligned. Energy and Spirit Oracle is what we're using today, by the way, by Sandra Ann Taylor. I actually really like this deck. So let's get started here. This reading is not going to be super long, as some of my other readings have been. I'm trying to keep this one a little shorter, so I've asked for 3 cards in addition to the bottom of the deck today to go off of to give you this message from the archangels today. So archangels, what is the message today for the collective? Archangel Michael, what is the message today for the collective? Many choices, uncertainty, confusion. You have options. You have options. It's just a matter of honing in on and getting in tune with the present. Because look, here's the past, the options to go backwards, to keep dwelling in the past. Some of you are fearful of the future and the unknown. Okay, perhaps, maybe it says here as well. So confusion in the middle of a forest. It's a dim day. There's a lantern on trying to show you your options. Be the light in the dimness. The options are available to you, but the thing is, you're not clear enough on what it is either you want or what your purpose really is in life. Some of you need to get clear on that. And if you need help getting clear on that, you can always book a private session and do a reading with your specific individual spirit guides. But generally what they're saying here is you need clarity. You need to also add more light into your life. if you are spending a lot of time inside, if you're spending a lot of time in dim settings or around dim, lower vibrational people, these are also polluting your aura and dimming your light. So when you're around other people that are darker energies, or maybe just lower vibrational, depressed, unclear in their life, if you're spending a lot of time around them, that will pollute your own energetic field. And that will start to make you confused and unclear in your own path, your own purpose. Animal totems, animal energy and powers. Oh, I haven't seen this one come out yet at all for anything, even in my own personal readings. So you guys have been getting this on my channel a lot lately about being in nature. But look at animals. They know what they're supposed to do. Look at nature around you. Look at every other species. They innately just do what they are here and supposed to do. A deer doesn't even have to consciously know that it's a deer, okay? But it just does what a deer does. It goes and it grazes. It walks through the forest. It eats grasses and fruit, berries growing off of trees, making it into somebody's garden, but it's always seeking to maintain its energy light in the appropriate diet for itself. It naturally does this every day. It eats a very healthy diet. It walks every day. It's grounding and connected to earth every day. Look at the birds in the sky. The birds, yeah, they're mostly air energies, but they are connected when they go, and perch in trees. They're connected to earth, okay? When they sleep in nests or in trees at night, they're connected to the earth. They're grounded still. They hunt and they seek out food, whether in the ground or in the waters, okay? All they're doing every day is sustenance and what they're innately here to do. They have a job. Their job is taking care of themselves and their family. The deer, the male deer here shown, generally is the one who protects, okay? A lot of times he'll be found by himself on his own after he's mated. He just has a job to mate and somewhat protect. But eventually, usually he's on his own as he gets older, wanders, and just finds new mates to reproduce. Okay, that's his job. He's not wondering, about this doe deer over here, if she's going to be mad about him reproducing with that doe deer that he finds over there. They have an innate job to do. And they just do it. They don't overthink it. Animals may hash things out sometimes, especially the males, when they want to fight over a female, right? But even in that, they show their worthiness through their fight. And that's it. It's the one who's worthiest, whether it's lions fighting one another over a female lion, whoever wins, whoever is the most impressive, whether it's peacocks and their feathers showing, the males showing off all their beautiful feathers, whoever does the best dance for the female peacock, who impresses her the most with her feathers, that's who's gonna win. And that's it, it's settled. There's nothing really beyond that. They innately do these things and they do them repetitively, and that's it. They stay in their role and they go through life without all of these dramas and these confusions and these cluttered and polluted energy like we do, okay? They just are very much in tune with the forces of nature and their own purpose. They are programmed this way. And they don't have as much free will as humans, okay? So you have to take a lesson from animals. Humans have their free will. So look at nature around you. Look at nature around you to learn how to stay in your flow. Observe nature. I'm a huge observer. I've been like this since I can remember. I have always observed nature. I've always been very appreciative of the world around me, the beauty and the wonder of it, okay? And I'm always in awe by other species, how they just do certain things. They just know how to do them and they do them. That's all they do. So they're focused. Animal spirits. Some of you may need an animal spirit guide reading, which you can also contact me about. I do animal readings, both animal spirit readings, spirit guide readings, to tell you who your spirit animal is or your spirit animals that can assist you. I also do animal pet readings for your actual pets, living or deceased. So if you're grieving pet loss, or if you have a pet and you are trying to help them, if there's something going on you're not sure about, and you would like to receive that information from them, I can both give them a reading, and I can also, in a sense, give you information about your animal and what they need assistance with or what they would like to communicate to you. So I've been doing that for quite a while, privately with my own animals and animals in my family and stuff, and friends for a long time. And I've spoken to animals my whole life. I've always had a affinity for communication with animals. Okay? So this is something that I know is vital to humanity comprehending that animals are our teachers too. Nature is our teacher. It has so much to show you if you just simply observed, if you observe long enough. But we're so busy being confused by one another and all these insignificant things. All this BS in life. Jobs, relationships, attachments and drama, and how these people feel, how that person's gonna feel, what are they gonna think, what are they gonna do or say, and make it stop. You don't have to live like that. Spirit's saying just stop. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Like, you're not meant to have all these long-term attachments. You see look, you're supposed to be like this bird that's flying out of the cage, but you keep yourself in the cage. Okay? A lot of you are birds sitting in cages with open doors. You get that? You get what I'm saying? You're a bird in a cage, but the door is open. But you choose not to fly out. So situations that you're in, you're confused, you're overwhelmed, that's a cage. You're in a prison of other people, other attachments, other commitments that you may or may not have wanted to make. And it's time to clip it, to cut it. All of that which isn't for you, isn't for your highest good, isn't worthy of going with you into your elevation, into your future. And you get rid of all this confusion and all these extra attachments, all these worries and wonders. Get clear on more about what it is you want out of life for yourself, not for anybody else. And sometimes you may need to meditate in nature to get clear on that and observe. And even if you are clear on that, still spend more time in nature. Still observe the world around you, animals especially, because they just do, right? They just do. They're not concerned with anything except their specific job, okay? Every bird, every different type of bird has a different job. Some of them will have, a similar, the same themes, but some of them behave very differently than others. Some birds are hunters, like birds of prey are very big hunters, and carnivores will eat other birds and whatever else, okay? Whereas other birds may just eat some worms and bugs, small insects, right? The way they may do it may be different, but ultimately they're still doing like the same thing, and they're routinely doing it, okay? They're not just trying it out. They're not gonna do their best and hope it all works out. They do it, and they do it well. They practice it every day. Their parents teach them and show them how to do it, and then let them struggle while doing it and learning it, and they're to help support them. And then they eventually grow up to be masters of whatever it is that type of animal is meant to do. Okay. The cheetah. Okay. I believe that's cheetah. It's like the fastest animal, or land speed, running. And like no other animal can do that. No other animal can come close. But how? Because the cheetah was designed for that. Cheetah was designed. It innately knows that it has to, in order to survive, feed its cubs, it has to hunt down large, and it's in an environment that is very harsh, okay? And it knows that in order to feed its family and itself, it needs to be able to hunt, but hunt large animals generally, okay, in order to sustain its own life and that of its children. So it has to be fast, because the animals it's going to take down are large, okay? The animals it's going to take down, there's competition from other animals in the animal kingdom where the cheetah is, like lions and other type of predatory animals. So it's got to be fast. And it's designed to be the fastest to get there and get its kill, get it first. And like hyenas and other animals that aren't as fast, aren't as good at hunting as them, are kind of scavengers and will feed off of the remainders that anything that the cheetah may leave behind or a lion might leave behind on a carcass, right? Scavengers, birds like vultures and stuff like that, scavengers will come and eat the remains, because that's what scavengers are great at. Scavengers do less work. They let somebody else do the hard work. Like vultures, they know their job too, and they're kind of mad smart. They're like, I'm just gonna sit up here and just circle around up in the sky, see who's killing, see who's doing the work, and then I'm gonna go over there and watch them eat their kill. Okay, watch them eat their kill. And then when they're done and they start to walk away, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get all the little bits and pieces and tidbits, because they don't need as much. That type of animal doesn't need as much. And can get, because they're designed to think this way and programmed to behave this way. The vulture can go and find it, fly around. It has a vantage point too, where it's up in the sky, it can fly. And it's a larger bird, so it's scary to some other animals that may want to that may try to attack it. It's very much a predatory-ish bird in itself. Scavenger they scavenge, but I've also seen them grab live animals, smaller live animals, and they can hunt too and kill. So they're not a bird to be messed with, and they give off that vibe. They know that. They're not scared. So like a scavenger will watch from the skies, maybe a cheetah over here this day, and see its kill and go over there and eat off of that carcass, get as much as it can, and then it'll go back in the sky for a bit and see maybe a lion over there or hyenas over there chewing on something. And then when that clears out, they'll go in and get what they can get. So they're letting other people do the hard work for them too. Like, look at nature. Look at how you may be operating in your life. Are you overworking yourself too? Are you operating out of your human design, outside? We'll talk more about this. My spouse is really good at this, and has been helping me understand this. But look up your human design. I think it's humandesign.com. Are you operating out of your human design? Are you basically living and moving in life harder than you need to, further away from what is for your highest good? Are you operating and behaving outside of your innate abilities and your characteristics and traits that you naturally possess? Because those are your tools, those are your powers. Not everybody's going to have the powers that you were born with, the gifts you were born with, the skill sets that you innately know and are attracted to, able to do and do well. So become a master at what you're actually designed to do and do it well. And focus on that. Be in alignment with that. Because when you try to do all these things that are out of alignment, you get drained and confused. Animals besides us are like never confused. Isn't that crazy? You ever seen like a confused cheetah? a confused deer. Maybe if they got hit by something or you know, dazed because they got like smacked by something, or you know, got, I don't know, if a bird, you know, got was flying and like flew in your windshield, it might, yeah, it's going to be confused. Or if it accidentally flew through your window and is in your house and trying to figure its way out, it's going to be confused for a second, but it knows what to do. It knows to look for the way out. It's looking and going back and trying to figure out how to get out, flying around for a minute, but ultimately it's looking for the way out, back into nature, back into its natural habitat. Okay? It's not caught up like, oh, I'm in your house now, let me go talk to you and go sit over here, let's have a conversation. It's not really like that, ever. Unless you happen to be an animal whisperer and actually do speak to animals, and hear animals, spirits speaking and communicating, but those are more rare, few and far between people. So animals generally just stay in focus of what their goals are and don't let, you know, they adapt well. They adapt to change as well. And what do? They overcome them. And if they don't overcome them, guess what? They die. So they're constantly just focused on getting what they need and adapting to any changes in their environment. If somebody comes into a field where a deer usually grazes and has been grazing with their family for generations and has lived in that area for generations, and all of a sudden someday somebody comes in and buys that property and starts plowing down the field, yanking out all the trees and building a foundation for a house, and there's no more to eat in that area, guess what? The deer are just going to keep wandering on to someplace else through people's backyards and go into people's gardens and eat what they can until they find a place that they're, you know, safe and that they can continue to thrive in. And when the snow comes, the deer are adapting to the snow, and they fed heavily throughout the spring and the summer and into the fall. They've fed a lot, okay? They've plumped up to help them through the winter when things are more scarce and hard to come by, okay? And they eat a lot off of trees that they can until there's nothing left. And some of them will survive, a lot of them will survive, and some of them that are weaker and not as strong and not as much nutrients that they have to maintain them throughout the rest of the winter season or through the cold to insulate them, they may die. So it's survival of the fittest in everything. But these animals know. They know, are programmed, and they know what to do, right? And they focus on that, and they just stay there, and they do it, and they adapt as necessary, and they overcome, and they keep trudging on until their last breath, literally, okay? You have to have that willpower, that focus, and that adaptability, like all the other animals in the animal kingdom. Only you, humans, have all this free will to make different choices so that you can create different realities, okay? You have this gift of free will. So you just have to get clear on what it is you want to create or what it is you're meant to create. Some of you are meant to do certain things that are going to impact many people, make a huge difference in the world. And you have larger missions than some others, okay? A lot of humanity may be meant to be a parent, meant to raise people who are meant to be impactful. And that's okay. Some people aren't meant to do anything except birth people who are meant to change the world, and that's okay. But if you're watching this reading, you're meant to have a big impact somewhere. Maybe not on the whole world, but maybe in your local community, okay? Or maybe over the internet on a large group of people, okay? In some area or another, you're meant to be very successful and make a big impact, whether in your personal or professional life, or in your local community, or in a certain field or industry. But you got to get clear on that, on what it is. And then you have to stay focused once you know. So identifying that, getting clear on that, and cutting away everything else that isn't for you. And then staying focused on that. Like a deer, like the cheetah, focused on your goal. And you can have multiple goals, but make sure you're not over multitasking, because look at the animals. They're not multitasking. They hunt, they hunt or they forage. They look, they search until they find their food source. And then what do? Once they found it, they'll do that for days or hours or whatever. They do that. They're not doing a million other things while they're doing that, right? Once they get their food source, then they're staying there and they're focused on eating and consuming enough to fill, right? They're not eating and chewing and, working on 10 other things or thinking about 10 other things. Because that's stressful. That would mess their digestion up so much. They may be thinking about, really the only thing would be, is there somebody else coming? Do I have to watch my back? Is there another predator coming that's going to try to fight me for this? Okay. They're thinking probably that. Or is there another predator that's going to come to try to eat me while I'm eating my berries? Probably is what maybe the deer is thinking. They're observant and they're aware of their surroundings, but they're not trying to do all these different things at the same time like humans do. You're on the computer, you're drinking or eating, eating lunch, you're trying to text somebody back, you're trying to be on a call at the same time while, you're trying to calm your kid down if you work from home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got all these things going on. You need to get clear and more organized and cut out all the extra busyness and distractions in your life. Have a time for everything. Your digestion will improve. Your overall energy will improve. Get up a little bit earlier and you'll have more time. Go to bed a little bit earlier and you'll sleep better. Delegate. If you have a family and live with multiple people, delegate other tasks to other people that they could be doing to assist, so that you're not the one doing everything. Otherwise, it's not an equal exchange of energy. There are certain things that can be done when children are at a certain age that they could be assisting with. Your little energy vampires, if they're little energy vampires running around past the age of 5 years old, you need to learn how to talk to your children better and learn how to delegate certain tasks to your children, or better, teach your children how to control their energy better. Not allow them to steal your energy, siphon your energy all day and make you overwhelmed. Your children are supposed to follow the leader. If you need to be a leader, they can't be running you. Look at the deer. The deer is the leader. The fawn follow the leader. You'll see a little playful deer, sometimes running around, having a little bit of fun. At the end of the day, mama rules. The doe and sometimes the buck are the leaders that will teach the children to follow us to food, to follow us to shelter. And if they don't and they get lost, what happens? They're more likely to die. You need to teach your children. If you have children that are stealing your energy, that are out of control, you need to become the leader again. And you do that by example, not by screaming and yelling. You lead by example. This is not how we behave. This is how we conduct ourselves. That's what a deer just automatically demonstrates. They conduct themselves a certain manner, and that's it. If you allow, and their children follow suit, if you were to allow your children to be exposed to all of these other energies on the phone and in your private life, negative people, chaotic people that they see, it's you allowing them to see that. And that's shaping that more than you demonstrating to them. how to act right, how to carry themselves properly. I don't know where that came from, but that was a message for people with children that are stealing your energy, because they've got you confused because you can't focus because you're overwhelmed. For those of you who have kids that are out of control, you have to hone in, rope them back in lovingly, but lead by example. Take out all the distractions from theirs and your lives that are contributing to chaotic energy, that are not for their highest good. Some of you just let your children watch absolutely anything and everything and allow them to become addicted to things that are programming them for you and making them think that they're totally independent and that they get to call all the shots at 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, 11 years old. You've got kids running you. It's different when your kids are respectful and you come together and they can have their own opinions and meaningful conversations and express their desires and make requests that you can assist them with for things that they want to do and want to experience. But when your kids are disrespectful, when your kids' energy is out of control, and when your kids have you running around overwhelmed, anxious, yelling, abrupt, and irresponsible with your own energy, that only further fuels your children to be chaotic, abrupt, irresponsible with their energy. And this will begin forming, if it hasn't already been passed down to you by your elders, this will begin forming a generational curse of destructive behavior, of absent parent, of an absent parent because the kid is going to feel like you're so distracted and overwhelmed, or that you don't want to be with them because you haven't demonstrated to them how to be in peace, how to be organized. What you haven't demonstrated how to focus on things that actually matter in life. A lot of you have your kids focusing on things that don't matter in life. A lot of you have shoved iPads or iPhones in their hands instead of nature, putting a baseball and a mitt in their hands, or taking them out into adventures in nature, into parks for recreation, to hiking trails, the things that ancestors had to do. You and your children don't know how to do them. And for as long as you don't know how to do that, all these things, and you're not grounded and centered, you're not going to be in tune with the innate powers you were given and by the ancestral gifts that were passed down to you. You're going to be out of tune with them because you're not in tune with yourself and nature. You're not connected enough. You are too connected to humanity. You are too connected to the mundane. You are too connected on materializations, material objects, matrix goals. You live by the clock of man and not by the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And this is why you're confused, overwhelmed, uncertain. You are out of harmony. Until you appreciate that, you keep chasing this. When you keep chasing this, and you're sacrificing your peace, your joy, your fulfillment, your soulful appreciation of life and your own life and the world around you, you will be miserable. You'll be miserable. You'll live in misery. You'll live constantly feeling like you're behind. Constantly feeling confused. But look at her in the center, the woman. Completely in her bliss. completely in tune. And look, the animals, even vicious animals, hunters, surround her because she's in her peace. She doesn't have the fear. She has respect. Look at the owl on the deer. There's an owl there too. Look at the fox. Everybody has a job. And she, amongst everybody else's job, she is in the center, in stillness, in peace, in harmony, one with the natural world, appreciative and absorbing enlightenment from all of these different animal totem, animal spirits, absorbing different energy and powers, qualities from them, learning lessons from each of them. All of these are teachers, master teachers. Your own pets have lessons to teach you if you just observed their natural behavior. But instead, we're always scolding them and trying to make them do things that they're not innately designed and meant to do. We're doing that for our pleasure, for our desires, rather than learning from them. We're trying to put on these conditions on them and these limitations on them and expect them to be happy and peaceful when they're not engaging and living in conditions that they are designed to live in, when they're not allowed to do the things that they're designed to do. You can learn a lot from nature. And that's why those animals that are locked up in cages or that are kept in the house a lot or kept in confined spaces with lots of people that may be negative, or other animals, too many animals in the same house without enough socialization and playtime, they become chaotic. Especially when the humans have a lot of negative energy, a lot of stress, the animals become chaotic. But then the humans get even more stressed at the animals and scold the animals or punish the animals or want to get rid of the animals. And it's not the animal's fault. The animal is responding to disharmony and chaos, things out of order, overwhelming energy, irresponsible energy in the home. It's not the animal's fault. It's never really the animal's fault. Divine presence, the force of love and creation. When you get in harmony with nature, with the natural world, and you get clear, you will feel the divine. You will feel like you've had another awakening. Okay, like you've leveled up. Because then you feel what has been there trying to make you realize it for so long, that the power, that the peace that the divine have been trying to show you is accessible to you, has been there all along, and you become so grateful for it. You become overcome with love. And from that, it drives further creation. It motivates you, it inspires you. You get into a state of such gratitude that you are so inspired now by how this all happened. How you came out. Look at this. You came literally out of this dimness, this confusion, this darkness in the past, coming into this present where you're getting more in harmony with nature, and then finally into your light, into this beautiful light and harmony, this gorgeous blossoming world around you, blooms, flower blooms all around you. 44, number of Archangel Michael, and true stability, ultimate stability and peace, harmony. All of the elements, balance of all the elements. You have mastered the balance of all of the elements. You've gotten into harmony through this. So right now, the more present time is a time for you to utilize nature and cut away all of these past attachments. Cut away all the toxic habits and the toxic exposures you or your family, those who live with you, have. Exposures to toxic media, okay? Toxic people that no longer are worthy of you or never were worthy of your energy. Or if you have toxic traits, habits, using your free will that other animals don't even really have much of, to choose to change. Challenge yourself to change. If you truly want a better life and think that you are worthy of that or deserving of that better life and success, then you will be willing to do whatever it takes. Just like other masters who were worthy took up the challenge to change. They say like Jesus was kind of an asshole when he was a kid. But he was meant to be. It was meant to be for him to be the Messiah. It was meant for him to be initiated and learn the mysteries of certain cults and to become the Son of God. But he had to face demons. He had to change. He had to choose to rise to the challenge, not to make excuses. And when he did falter, he had to get back up. He had to challenge himself, and Spirit challenged him to get back up and to overcome. Nowadays, people are way too soft. Weak in the mind, because your mind and your aura, your energy has been so polluted, so corrupted. So you have to work even harder, in a sense, to remove the pollution, to overcome demons trying to keep you addicted and ill, addicted and oppressed. And when you do that, you'll be worthy of the blessings, of the peace. But it takes great effort, because you have a great purpose. It takes great sacrifice for those who have a larger purpose, who will make a larger impact and receive a larger blessing than most of the rest of the population. You will be challenged more, and you will have to try and overcome more things. But this is meant for you. It's a lesson. You are being tested. It's always a lesson. To see if you're worthy, not just of financial reward, but of all of the other types of blessings that you can have, all of the admiration, all of this, what are the words? All of the respect, all of the praise, all of the notoriety for whatever it is, or all of the credit, and whatever it is. You will be tested to see if you are worthy. Because a lot of people say they want something, but they're not going to be ready to handle it, the responsibilities that come. So a lot of the time, Spirit is testing people to see if they are ready and actually worthy and trustworthy to have these responsibilities. A lot of people are meant to lead, or being tested to see if they're capable of leading others to success, to enlightenment, to wealth, to health. Some people are going to be in it for the wrong reasons, though, and only focused on self-gain, what they can get from doing that for themselves. And I've seen this like in a lot of certain business models, and I'll give an example from the health products industry. I've seen network marketing companies that tout health products, tons of marketers go into it as a money-making opportunity, understandably. But when something's not really truly in alignment, when it's not truly healthy, when there are repercussions and you're just so focused, when it's not the best high quality product, when it actually can cause damage to people, but it's being touted as a health product, when you're so focused on building your team, building your network, and recruiting more people so that you can get more paychecks, and you become less focused on the actual thing was to help people with their health, to make sure that you're selling a product and representing a company or product that actually is doing more good and helping people, instead of causing problems for people's health. I've seen people who actually have died, gotten so ill while doing that because they were so focused on self-gain, acting and talking like they were focused on their team, but they were so focused on the money, so focused, and became so egotistical, and started to, even when they knew that there was something wrong with the product that was dangerous, they continued to sell it. They continued to market it and grow their team and lure people in. And God had been testing them for several years, warning them. I saw it unfold. I was told not to follow this person, and I was told not to be involved with that company, and I was told not to take the product anymore. Okay, because it had repercussions, liver health issues, gut health issues. And this person, I watched them literally get cancer and die. Everything that they had worked so hard to build for years, became a multimillionaire, had all this money, had horrible relationships. Everybody hated them. Everybody in the industry hated them because they became very egotistical, and because they disregarded certain information. They sacrificed the masses for their own self, but made it look like they were in it for everybody else. And those who could see could tell that they had been led astray and had lost respect for this person. And some people even did wish this person, harm, and did, some magical stuff. And this person, though, I watched them literally die because they could not ever let anybody know. They couldn't let what they had worked for be destroyed by admitting, that they knew things, and that it wasn't healthy truly for anybody. It had, short-term, immediate positive results, but long-term it had detrimental health consequences. And they had found this out. They had heard multiple testimonies. And what they do was mocked people. What they did was mocked the people who were making these testimonies and had scientific doctor proof, legal proof, and lawyers and everything, and lawsuits in place already ongoing with this company. I'm not going to mention them. But I watched this person, okay, who knew this, then call everybody else a liar, call all these people who were suffering from the consequences of taking this product, believing and getting involved and being marketed by people like this person. I watched this person then choose, using their free will, to choose to mock people, insult people, call people liars, make all this drama, and emit a whole bunch of bad energy. And what you do unto others, you do upon yourself. So in a sense, they cursed themselves. They made themselves sick because they mocked those who truly were sick. when you mock the ill, when you mock the sick and the innocent, and you lie, you reap what you sow. And I saw this person that I had once thought was a good person, and they had some good qualities still, but they chose to cover themselves in light and be disillusioned by all of this, so focused on all of this that they lost pieces of their soul in the process. The person literally physically changed before they even got really sick. They literally, their face got changed. Like, they changed how they looked so much. They did all these alterations to their body. They were completely, becoming somebody totally different in order to obtain this money. They were willing to say and do whatever and become so different instead of the person that I had first been attracted to and believed in. And that was the person who had light, who was truly being guided in the beginning. But then she was tested. And when we found out certain things and her spirit guides discovered certain things, then she was tested. But she continued to fail the test. She continued to trudge on in dishonesty for self-gain. And that is when I felt that, and my spirit guides felt that. That's when I was told, and I listened to my spirit guides, and I stopped taking the product and promoting it, which luckily I had not actually closed any sales because I was not focused on promoting it, because my spirit guides had told me not to, that it wasn't for me. They didn't tell me why, but they told me it wasn't for me to do. That was not the path for me. Okay, so I got off that product years ago. But I watched this person literally lose their life because they were literally making so many people sick. So their life was taken. That's how my spirit guides have seen it, that they had such a massive influence, had so many people under a hypnotism, that they had to literally their mission had to be cut short. Because the effects of that, though they could help people financially and had helped a lot of people financially, it was not going to be a long-term thing, because the company is soon going to be in a humongous legal battle and not surviving too much longer because of all the things that are going to come out. So in a sense, all those people are going to have nothing and going to have to start all over, all those people in the company, because they were dependent on that company. So they're going to have to find another company and start from the bottom again. So people are going to lose it all. So Spirit said that they had to end this person's mission prematurely because it was so detrimental to the masses, because they had massive influence. They had massive influence. Millions of people knew who they were around the world already. They had so many people in their company. Okay. And they had, all those people have massive influence as well. So they had to cut the top of the chain out because they would not take themselves out on their own when they were given the chance. They would not do what was being asked and guided for them to do. They had information and they did not talk about it or did not act accordingly to what God and the spirits of light needed them and were trying to get them to do. So their life was cut short through getting ill. And they also did get ill partially because of the product they were on and the type of diet they were promoting, which is carcinogenic. So let that be a lesson, that when you're out of disharmony, when you are so greedy or money hungry that you become something you're not, and you start to do things completely out of character and desperate to do anything to make yourself successful. You may be worthy at first, but you will still be tested. And at any point, if you're not worthy anymore, You're not demonstrating worthiness. The divine may consider taking away blessings at one level or another. But that was an extreme level. But that was because she had extreme influence. And it was impacting and detrimental to many people in the collective's health and their family's health. So she was affecting millions of people, essentially, whether directly or passively, through her work, and continuing to have the influence that she had, selling what she was selling, saying what she was saying. So, and now her death is a wake-up call, hopefully, to a lot of people in that industry. And hopefully, a lot of people will choose to do the right thing when they find out what she found out, what she became aware of. But her death should scare other people. Even in her death, it is being used as a lesson to other people who need to also learn to be more humbled, need to also learn that things, once you get to a certain amount of success, and she wasn't giving enough credit to the divine. When people get to that level of success and say they were completely self-built, that they give themselves all the praise and all the glory. God is always listening. God and spirit are always listening. Mother Nature, all the spirits of the world and the gods and goddesses and forces of nature are always listening and observing humanity and learning from us. And when they see that we are ungrateful, we are out of harmony, we are acting out of order and disrupting the divine order that is meant to be on this planet, they will start to take people out of positions of influence. And you'll see this in the media too. You'll see this in governments, media and stuff, celebrities. What is given can be taken away. When out of harmony, when out of alignment, when being dishonest, it is a slap in the face of God to be dishonest, to deceive for self-gain. It's one thing to deceive somebody who is evil to protect, yourself and others who are innocent. But when you start to become deceitful in your work, in your mission, for self-preservation and self-gain, at the expense of everybody else, you may have money, but you won't get to keep it. You won't get to enjoy it, because karma is always going to be coming. Karma will always end up being delivered for those who don't right their wrongs. And I wasn't expecting to go off onto that message, but when we brought up worthiness, I was seeing this person, and I wanted to give it as an example. Yes, you could be doing something that helps a lot of people, but ethically, is it a morally good thing to do anymore? Maybe at one point it was, but the moment it stops being for the highest good of others, when it stops being what it claims to be, and you see that it's false or detrimental to the health and well-being of your fellow man, you have a duty. Gods give us all a duty to do what is right and just, and they test us all. They see, and everybody gets what they deserve in one way or another. People who are passive and stand for nothing are just as much a part of the problem, but yet may complain and just sit around being gossipers. And a lot of those types of people, they're not very healthy. And they say that they're in suffering or they're not very wealthy, because one has to be worthy of that. You earn things in this life through your thoughts, your words, your actions. You earn good health. You earn wealth. You earn ease. And you earn it by learning lessons and overcoming obstacles. Some people have carried lessons from a past life and consequences of maybe not learning that lesson into this lifetime and are dealing with learning the lesson and actually overcoming it in this lifetime, and are being challenged and tested. Maybe they didn't do enough or speak up in the last lifetime when they should have. And as a consequence, they have had maybe health struggles, and they're supposed to do something incredible to help a massive amount of people through telling their story or through healing naturally and demonstrating and sharing that with others. And that's how they heal, and that's how they earn their health back, and that's how they level up. It could be a million different scenarios. That's just one. But you earn things in life, and you got to remember that your life is not just one single lifetime. So what you're experiencing in this life may have been a lot of suffering for something that had been done in your past life. And this is why past life readings and past life regressions are important. So you can understand why you may be going through. If you've been a relatively good person, good-natured person, good intending person in this life, and you are suffering, well, there could be two things. There could be past life things that you may be inherited and are dealing with that are blocking you and causing this. Or the only other two options are this: if you're suffering and you're a good person, you're suffering financially or your health, is generational curses passed down through your lineage, through your bloodline from others before you who were not good people, who had done bad things, okay? Or who not necessarily were bad people. Not all of them were bad people and did bad things, but were people who also didn't overcome their lessons and their challenges and chose to do nothing and to not persevere and to just accept certain limiting beliefs or to accept certain bad behaviors or poor eating choices, poor health choices, and then that became a generational curse that became normal and passed down. And you may have inherited that, okay? Through no fault of your own, okay? And then the third thing is if someone else who is evil or negative intending toward you is doing witchcraft upon you or sending spirits to you to disrupt you and block you, okay? Those are pretty much the only scenarios that would cause somebody who is good-natured to have suffering in this lifetime when they are worthy of better, okay? When they are worthy of blessings, when they are worthy of success and, prosperity and of good health. But there are lessons you may be dealing with that you haven't recognized yet that also could be causing that, like past life lessons. And your resistance are the fourth thing. Your resistance to learning a lesson can make you sick. That is the fourth thing, and that is the one that is truly of this lifetime. That is your, that would be your, I hate to use the word fault, but that would be the one thing that you would have to take ownership of, is you can make yourself sick and become ill and become financially blocked if you are constantly refusing to learn lessons that your spirit guides, God, Goddess, higher self are trying to make you to learn and make you to overcome. So that creates, what I talk about a lot, is energetic blockages in this physical vessel, in this physical body, and in your actual physical life, which affects your money. So which one of those is it? It could be one or more of those things. I would not know individually unless I was sitting with a single person in a reading. So you can always go to samthespiritist.com to book a personal reading. So take what resonates, okay? Not everything here is going to resonate for everybody. These are examples based on multiple things that the collective that is watching and will see this have going on, have affecting them. These are the things, the most important messages that the archangels are bringing, okay, for those people. So take what resonates. Don't listen to and just absorb everything. Take and focus on what resonates for you of this reading, okay? But understand that challenges, lessons are here for your evolution, for the evolution of your soul. Otherwise, what is the point of living in life if you're just going to stay limiting yourself, living and doing things that are not fulfilling. Okay, because as a human, you are meant to be a creator, and whereas the rest of the animal kingdom doesn't have that level of free will and isn't the creators. They just are like players in the game. They do their job, and they're kind of like, in a sense, robots. They just do their job and they do it well, and they just repeat and they repeat. You have the ability to be a creator. Okay. However, when people don't harness that ability to be a creator, and they just stay very limited in life, they're not learning a lot of different lessons, or maybe it takes them lots and lots and lots of lifetimes to learn a single lesson. And they finally get to a lifetime where their soul is tired of not progressing, and the higher self is tired of not progressing. The next incarnation, the person may be easily overwhelmed, confused, feel anxious, may have, introversion and social issues, may have, may be socially awkward, maybe, may feel like they don't fit in society, may feel like they don't want, to do all these normal everyday things that other people are, constantly perpetuating as like normal jobs and normal, wages, and you should just be grateful for, what you're getting, and that you have a job, and there's something inside of, you at some point, if you're one of those people who finally had taken so long to learn lessons through multiple lifetimes, and finally gets to that point in this lifetime where you're this can also represent here, you're at a place where your past and your present and your future have all been meeting, and you're being asked to acknowledge the past lives, to learn about your past lives. Okay. And sometimes in a state of hypnosis, you can also go into the future timelines. Okay. If you're with a skilled practitioner like my spouse, High Priestess May does, she's able to do this, help you do this, so you can bridge this and bring it all together into this present, because time is not linear. It's all happening at different levels at the same time. So you're able to see what has happened in the past, to make sense of what maybe you may have been experiencing now in this lifetime. Okay, and why you've experienced it. I think that's important for you, many of you, to understand your past lives, because there's something that's like, you're confused, not just about this life and with people around you. Yes, there's that, but it's like the past, not just from this past in this lifetime, the past, it is affecting you and you're not even realizing it. You don't even know how. It's unknown. It's unknown. Wow. So you need to grab, some of you are having struggles too, having struggles with appreciating this life and with receiving enough blessing of prosperity, health, and peace in this life because of this, because you're jumbled. These are all trying to get your attention, the past, and also knowledge of the future potential. So it sounds like some of you do need readings, personal readings, so you can always contact me if you want to get clear, and we can do a past life reading. You just got to let me know that you want a past life reading, so we're able to bridge the gap between your present and your past, so you could get clear. That's some of the probably the biggest thing. I'm glad I went back, because that's one of the biggest things that blocks people, is not understanding who they were and why they are the way they are now. Besides being out of harmony with nature, besides being ungrounded, but remember, in the past, our ancestors, all of them, lived off the land. They lived far more in harmony with nature. They did things intuitively. They lived a natural life. And I think a lot of that is what is impeding on a lot of your success, a lot of your peace, a lot of your health, and your prosperity, and even your relationships. Because a lot of people that you're in relationships with, if you're somebody who's had difficult relationships or bad luck in love. You've been with people that are also out of harmony. You can't have peace and unity and bliss when you're with somebody who's very ungrounded and out of harmony, who's got turmoil, who hasn't been learning their lessons and appreciating lessons in life, who's in a constant state of chaos and causing other people chaos. Okay, when they're out of harmony, you're never going to have that bliss and that peace. Both parties have to be willing to work on their own healing, their own soul's elevation. Or some people are just innately in that alignment and working towards that already. They just know, even if they don't necessarily know that they need spiritual alignment, and they're just naturally in tune, like I had used to be, until I got out of tune, and then I got sick. When I got out of tune is truly when I started getting sick, when I got out of my alignment. Okay, now I have to do certain things besides my diet, besides certain things to help from a nutrition standpoint. I have to do things to replenish my soul from a spiritual standpoint, to reharmonize my energy, okay, in many different ways, with things that are meaningful, that are in alignment with me, in order to truly, fully heal. Part of that healing prescription for myself is these messages, because this is part of my purpose. Speaking life, giving guidance, and speaking life back into people, speaking potential, speaking inspiration back into people, reinvigorating people, reinvigorates me and helps me to heal. So that is the way that I look at things, and maybe that can help you look at some of the things that you've been going through and figure out why you may be going through them. What is it trying to teach you? What is it trying to make you aware of that you have possibly turned your back on? Things that were important or forgotten or put on the back burner. Things that were very important, crucial to your well-being and elevation of your soul. That is the message today. Gracias a la misericordia. I hope that made sense for who it was supposed to make sense to. I never know where these readings are going to take me. I always pray on them beforehand and ask for as much clarity as I possibly can. Given my situation, my health right now, sometimes I have a bad memory. Sometimes it's getting better though. It is getting better. And sometimes I myself can be a little anxious, which I try to reduce. And as messages come through, channeling, sometimes they're overwhelming because I have been backed up on messages, so I have a lot that may come out. I didn't think it was going to take this long to get through it, so I do apologize that it was that long, but it was necessary for today's, for the potency, I guess, of the message. So, again, great Oracle deck. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, Archangel Division. Gracias a la misericordia. Happy Sunday to you all. Remember that you are made in God's image. You are supposed to be co-creating. Everything around you is trying to teach you something, whether you perceive those things as negative or positive, beautiful or dark, light or dark. Everything around you has something to teach you. When you become an observer and you learn from things around you, from people around you, animals, nature around you, situations you have been in, when you learn by reflecting on your own life from an observational lens, not a critical or an emotional lens, but simply a neutral observational lens, you are able to see a lot of things clearer. And I think that will help you. If you take that last advice, I think that will help you. If you utilize more of an observational lens rather than an emotional or critical lens, life will get far more easy, and elevation will become a bit of a faster process for you, and more pleasant process for you so that you can get harmony, peace, prosperity, and maintain it. Gracias, misericordia. Many blessings to you all.